So today we're going to talk about some of the cultural aspects of Belgium. So we're going to start with some of the Belgian mannerisms, which I had to get used to. In Belgium, it's custom when you see someone you know to kiss, and that's between males and females, or males and males, and females. So some of our classmates would see us and say, "Hey," and give us a kiss on the cheek, and we had to get used to that, and it was very different, but it was also very pleasant. I think it was a very warm way to greet somebody you really know and care about. Other mannerisms that we had to get used to were different things, such as if we hold the door for someone here. Well, I know for me here, when I hold the door, someone just, I'm used to people saying thank you, or I'll say thank you. But in Belgium, it's kind of like you hold the door and you've held the door and you just move on with your life. So it's very different. It's way fast paced in Belgium. We go get groceries a lot of times. They're just they move a lot quicker than we do, I think. So the grocery line, it's best to have your money already out, your bag ready to be packed, because they're going to be moving you along pretty fast. So that's something we had to get used to, because it just kind of seemed impersonal. But I think we had to learn that it was their culture and how they do things. Interesting about Belgium is that they're very big on recycling. Very, very, very big. You get fined if you don't recycle. They have these bins where they separate for you, whether it's paper, whether it's glass, whether it's just food, and it's very organized. It's really, really neat. With their boxes, everything is recycled in a specific way, and it helps them to keep order with what's being recycled, because they're very big on being green. So I do like the fact that in their culture, recycling is very important. Interesting about a different cultural aspect of Belgium is how and where they live. Their living spaces, considering what I'm used to, is very, very small. I lived in a studio apartment with two other females, and I think for one person it could be okay, but it's very, very small and quite expensive for it to be so small. I think we paid about €300 a month for our apartment, a piece, which means in total that studio apartment will go for €900. And I'm going to show you all pictures that we had 2 owls on the stove. We didn't have an oven, and we had a refrigerator you would probably see in a dorm living room for college students, and it was very different. So the sink was really small, and I think it's just, it's custom for them to live like that. So it works for them, but come from America is very different. So it was kind of interesting, like, wow. It was cool to see that we could manage with three of us in a very small space, so it worked out. I'm going to show pictures of that soon, so hope you enjoy it. So here are some photos of the market. We would go to the market on the weekends. They would have all kinds of things like fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. They would have flowers. They would have fresh seafood and all kinds of poultry. Sometimes they would have cheese out there, which is very popular. People love cheese in Belgium. And they would also sell these little waffles that we also enjoy. They were really delicious, and our favorite was probably the speculoos waffles. We would get them, and they come in a little brown bag. We'll just eat them throughout the day, so they were pretty cool as well. Also, something interesting about Belgium that we found very common in their culture was the pubs and bars that we would see along the way. We would see them on every corner, and so they always had plenty of pubs and bars for people to go to. And they always sat on every little corner. And a lot of times they would be directly located right beside each other. So you had so many options of where you wanted to go. Speaking of pubs and bars, we would see alcohol and beer sold in stores, with alcohol sold in grocery stores, which is something that we're really not used to here in America, because it's limited to, well, where I am from in America, North Carolina, there are liquor is sold only in ABC stores and things like that. But we would see the beers and the liquor on the counter in grocery stores, which is very, very interesting to us. And also, to speak about the culture in Belgium, we're going to talk about the living spaces. And I have a few photos of my apartment, well, the studio in which I lived while I was there. And it was a really small space, which is really something I wasn't used to coming from where I stay in Greensboro, where the college dorms and even the student housing, where the student apartments in the area had lots of space for students. The first photo is a photo of the little workstation that we had to share. We had to really learn to share. The area is really small. You can see in the kitchen we have a really big window, which we really enjoyed the window because it helped with the sunlight. But to the right is our refrigerator, and that was a refrigerator for 3 grown women who had to buy groceries to cook, which was very tough, but we made it work. And the next photo is a photo of our stove here. If you look closely on the top left, those are 2 burners next to the lamp, and those were our aisles. We didn't have 4, we had 2, and we did not have an oven. So that was also very different for us.
And then next you see right beside the aisles, you see the trash can. Next to are our beds. So that was different as well. We didn't really have much of a separate space, but we learned to make it work. And I think the most interesting thing about Belgium to me that I'll never forget, where you see this sign that says WC 40 cent. We had to pay to use the restrooms in Belgium. So when you go to a restaurant and you're in there, or you go, like maybe you walk along the street, you have to go inside to the restroom, you have to pay. It's not free. And that was something very, very different for us. So we was like, oh, let's go to the restroom. We would always forget that we had to actually pay for it. So, and that was very interesting about Belgium. But overall, it was a cool experience, and it made us appreciate all the free restrooms in America.